Don't look, Ethel. It's going to be a famous game tonight. Jakob Rosanes versus Adolf Anderssen in Breslau, 1863. Another famous game from the great attacking genius Adolf Anderssen. This time he's black, and it is a King's Gambit. And he accepts it, of course. And they play the main line. This is the Kaiseritsky Gambit when you play h4. And you bump the knight around like this. And the top move here is knight f6. Protects this g4 pawn for one thing. Might want to play the knight into h5, into g3. If bishop g7, I guess you can go d4. I guess h5 has been tried before here. It's not the best either. Bishop c4, attacking Fred. So knight h6, d4, d6, kicks the knight out. The knight is now attacking this f-pawn, but you can push it. And I guess in the end it's equal, I guess. One move here is d6 and just let him have that guy on g4. But anyway, he plays knight f6. This is the main line. And Rosanes plays bishop c4. If he takes here on g4, the top move is actually knight takes e4. And after d3, knight comes into g3. And he takes here on f4 and gives up the rook. This is one of the lines. Hold on. Let me get set up over here on the other side of the monitor so I can watch stuff. Oops, mute that. Don't need no feedback. All right, so bishop c4 though. So we're following main line so far, and I think this is the real point of knight f6 is so you can play d5. All right, he takes, and then bishop d6 blocks this pawn, which now blocks the bishop, and the knight is in danger. White plays d4. So far, mainline theory. Hey, viewer, thank you for tuning in. I'm looking at the famous game Rosanes-Anderssen in 1863. There is a crazy gambit here where you castle. I think it's called the Rice Gambit. Bishop takes, and then you pin it. But he plays the main move, d4. And then knight h5, which defends this pawn and might want to come into g3. Queen e7 is a try here instead, but then I think you can just castle. So also, if you castled straight away, I guess white would take this pawn. And now knight h5, but you can protect the bishop like this. Bump the knight out and then take here on g4, and it's either equal or black is slightly better here, according to the computer. I lost my viewer. Didn't get to the training question yet, and I already lost my viewer. Knight h5. Must have been a Matthew Perry fan. Must have been shook up by my Matthew Perry jokes. All right, now, though, they played the main line, which is still the main line today. But here, white makes a mistake. He makes a blunder. Bishop b5. Why move this piece? It's already developed. This is a losing move already. Knight takes g4, also not very good. Knight g3 hits the rook, and if the rook moves, here's a check. And if the knight would to block, then I attack that pinned piece like this. What else? I mean, king f2, I'm coming in with queen h4, right? So if knight c3, castle, best move, I guess, is castle. And then black probably castles. But he moved a piece twice. Broke the rules. Beginner mistake. Moving your piece twice. And, of course, here's your first training question. Too bad you just left, viewer. I was ready for a training question for you. My viewer left. He's like, I'm not going to watch no famous game. Where's the girls in the showing their midriff? That's what he wants. Chess players that show a little belly button. Show you my belly button, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. That's private, personal info. It is black to play. Can you find the best move for black? How do you get out of check Give you a hint, you are in check. I'll give you a second here to think about it. Oh yeah, it's Halloween. I forgot. Almost forgot. It's Halloween. I've been hiding in my house. Well, so are the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're hiding as well. I don't think they're going to be coming out this Halloween. I think they're going to go home and hide in shame. How to get out of check? Pawn to c6. This is the way you do it. It looks like you might get in some trouble here because this pawn is only defended twice and it is attacked 3 times. But Anderssen had it all figured out. This is the best move. White does take. If he just runs away, I reckon I'll take on... I guess I'll take on d5. I started to say I'll take on e5. Guess I could do this. But I guess I could also just take here. Why don't I just take there? Could just take that guy. Why not? All right. So d takes c6 was played though. And now Anderssen takes back with the pawn. It is better, according to my stockfish analysis, to take with the knight. There was a previous game between Harwitz and the great Paul Morphy that continued castle. And after c takes b7, queen takes g4 check, Morphy actually lost this game. So don't want to copy that one. We never get to see Morphy's losses. They never show those. But let's take a look at knight takes c6. So this is allegedly the best. If the bishop takes, the pawn takes. I guess taking this pawn is not really worth it because queen b6. Yeah, what do I do? Run away? Then I eat you? And knight g3, etc. So maybe you castle and castle. According to my computer notes, black has a big advantage here. Big lead in development. So that's I think that's something to watch for. If you're playing the King's Gambit, you want to be the one with the lead in development. That's not what's happening here. It's black who has the lead in development. So after knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, check, forking the king and the rook. I'm sure this is what a line that Anderssen calculated. Anderssen liked to sack this rook over here a lot. I've noticed this looking at quite a few Anderssen games, that he liked to sack that rook a bit. So bishop d7, and if he takes this rook, knight g3, attacks white's rook, and then just simply castle, rook e8, check is coming. This is a theme. So black has a huge attack again because all of these white pieces are on the back row. What else? If queen takes g4, taking advantage of the fact that the bishop can't take because it's pinned, then I can take the bishop, you can take the knight, and I suppose something like this also bigly in black's favor. So I guess you could just take this guy, but then you don't get the rook after all. And again, once again, there is no white piece in the game. So going back to the game, knight takes c6 would have been top dog, but he took with the pawn. And now he played knight takes c6, and this is not the best. Should probably just run away. You're attacking f7, and I guess they would just castle and castle. Black, of course, is better, but it's not death like the game. Bishop takes c6. I'll just take with the knight. Once again, the queen comes out to b6. I guess you can throw this check in here first. And then, that was the end of my notes. If you go knight e5, oh, there's this, right? So knight takes c6 was the game. Knight takes, bishop takes, check. And here, he did not block with the bishop. He simply sidestepped with his king. After the bishop takes the rook, he hits here. And Rosanes played rook h2 to save the rook. If he plays king f2 to just give up the exchange like this, black has king g7, and once again this theme where the rook comes into the game, rook to e8. But he played rook h2, and then black played bishop f5. It's possible here to give a check, I guess, and then knight to e2 with the threat of g3 check. So you probably have to give up your queen. I think you had to give up your queen here. Because if I ran to back here, I think this discovered attack is kind of annoying. Once again, suffering from this lack of development. Play the king's gambit and black has the development. That's not good. That's not a good feeling. All right, so but Anderssen played bishop f5. Morphy's a different guy from those days. Losing my mind. I'm aiming for that 15-minute stream. I'm already at the 11-minute mark. I'm going to go over 15 minutes, I guess. Got a couple of more training questions at the end. All right, he played bishop d5. I mean, okay, so when the bishop moved, so now this bishop's in danger, so he moved it to safety. If he goes c6, I guess I can just hit it with tempo there.
With perfect tempo.
Then, if he plays the computer like this strange bishop f3, just giving up some material, but black is better here, though not as much as in the game. After bishop d5, king g7, rook e8 check in the cards. All right, knight c3 develops. Here comes the check. He runs away. Queen b6. And now this pawn is pinned, so bishop e5 would be a very dangerous type of attack on that pin. He played knight a4. I didn't put it in my notes, but I remember the computer preferring a4, but it didn't make any difference. Black is totally winning here. He played queen a6. Now his idea, if I can skip a move here, is queen to e2 check. So queen takes, rook takes check, and then he's going to get like this little Arabian mate. Hey, I love my bishop. I'm looking at the famous Rosanes-Anderssen game. Kind of carving my way through it here, getting close to the end. I call this the Arabian mate, but I have a friend, I'm not going to mention his name, it's embarrassing, but he doesn't want to be known as my friend, probably, not in public anyway. But he considers this the hook, I think he calls it the hook mate. I always just call it Arabian mate. All right, so for example, if instead of knight c3, if I played c4, black has a nice little tactic here. Should make it a training question, but I'm not gonna force it on you. I love my bishop. Queen takes a4. Exclam. All right. Point being, if the queen takes, check, and once again, this Arabian mate or hook mate or whatever you call it. So he played knight c3, which saves his knight. The knight was also in danger, by the way. So protects this e2 square. And here you go. I love my bishop. You tuned in at just the right time. It is black to play, and it is a training question for you. Now, I do want to say the move played in the game is not the top engine choice. It's not even the second top engine choice, but it is the most spectacular move. And you know Anderssen is going to play the most spectacular move if he sees it. This move is the beginning of just beautiful combination. It's totally winning. It's not a mistake or anything. The beginning of just it's just the type of combination you die to play in your game. But I would never, first of all, I don't think I would imagine it. Would I? No, I don't think so. Maybe, but I'm maybe giving myself too much credit that I would find this ever. It is black to play. I'm going to make it a training question for I Love My Bishop and take a moment of silence for Matthew Perry. I should play the Friends theme. The Friends theme. Oh, wait a minute. That other guy. There's another guy that died too just recently. He was like one of those America Got Talent things. He's like the black MC guy. I think he died just recently. Yeah. No. Maybe he didn't die. Thought he died. I was trying to Google over here. Didn't say anything about him dying. Oh, he just has this rare cancer. That's what it is. Yeah, has this rare cancer. It came about all of a sudden, right after he did a big promo for pushing the vaccine. So we're not sure why he got that rare cancer. Oh, wait a minute. Got some stuff here. Bishop E5. You got it, baby. You got it. That is a Pfizer kill shot right there. Boom. The Pfizer kill shot and a sound effect. That is nice. That is nice. All right. Bishop E5. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. First of all, if he takes, check. All right. If he blocks, wait a minute, let me get this Pfizer stuff off of here. I know, it's the Pfizer kill shot. All right, so King E1 would lose to Queen G1, check. King D2 and Queen E3, check. The computer shows you can slow it down by a couple moves by giving up your queen. Then you have an extra escape square, but it's still going to be mate. After, this is the fastest, is to not take the knight, but check and then take the knight. That is mate. So D takes E5, not working. So he tried A4, wants to maybe try and shut out the queen, I imagine. And here you go. What is your follow-up? I love my bishop. I love my bishop. What is your follow-up? Black to play. The second part, another double exclam move here. Queen F1, check. Boom, baby. That's a Paul Stanley, yeah. Paul Stanley with the win. Queen F1. Look at that, baby. Deflecting that queen away. Boom. What a beautiful combination. Just a beautiful combination. Take. Bishop takes. Check. I don't know. I'm not clear if he resigned here or not, or played this out. But the database gave all these moves. Check. Bishop blocks. Only move. Take with the rook with this discovered attack. After that, you go bishop d4, rook takes e3. My bishop sees everything. So, yeah, I just had in here king g1, and then kablamo. That's mate. That is a beautiful combination, man. Started with this bishop e5. Sweet. His tactics are sweet. His tactics are sugar. All right. Yeah, look at this. Bishop e5. That's just amazing. An amazing little combination there. And then not even taking with the bishop. Taking with the bishop would actually be losing, I think, because I run away the other way. So you got to take with the rook, and then I don't guess you have to go king g1, but it doesn't matter. I guess no matter what, it's going to be discovered check. All right, and mate. So, yeah, it's over. What a nice thing. All right, so I love my bishop. I guess you're not out celebrating Halloween. This is the witching hour. The witching hour is beginning. So I'm going to turn off my lights to make sure no kids come to the door and want a candy or anything. I would have to give them something like Jell-O cups or something because that's all I have. Maybe some meatloaf. I think I got some meatloaf in the fridge. They don't come to my place after 9 p.m. because you live back in the swamp, back in the bayou. All right, I love my bishop. Thanks for stopping by. I think tomorrow night I'm going to start looking again at another line from my opening. I want to look at another line of that old Benoni, the one where they play e6 instead of going for the Indian setup. They go for the e6, quick e6. Still need work on that, I feel like. So anyway, my friend, thanks for stopping by and all you other lurkers out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Until that time, you got it from Chessable? Got what from Chessable? No, it's just I just pick out the lines. I turn on Stockfish. I look at Master Games. I pick out my own opening. I tried before doing some courses from Chessable, but I can't remember it. So I just pick out my own lines. I just do a mishmash of picking through the database and turning on the computer and Master Games and try and pick out some lines. And then I work my way through it. I remember it better that way, I think. So, because at least then I kind of know why that line's played instead of just memorizing it. You made a repertoire. Very cool. Well, I'm making my own. My point is, on Chessable. Cool. My point is, though, is I feel like making my own repertoire is can do it better. Chess base, not Chessable. Chess base, yeah. I feel like doing my own repertoire, I remember it better. So that's why I don't do the Chessable. I mean, I do Chessable, but my own course that I just made. Because, yeah, I tried that, remembering the other guys' lines and stuff, and it's just, I couldn't. It was just hard. So I like to pick out my own lines and to my own taste and stuff like that. But, yeah. So there you go. All right, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. And, yeah, see you tomorrow night. Until that time, adios.